The month of May 2025 was difficult. It saw a dangerous military clash. India and Pakistan were involved. These are two nuclear-armed neighbors. Tensions rose very quickly. The world watched with great concern. This was not the first time. Yet each incident feels more perilous. The risk of escalation is always present. This recent confrontation was sharp. It was also surprisingly intense. The conflict played out on multiple levels. There were ground skirmishes. There were also aerial battles. These air engagements became a key focus. Both sides made bold claims. Both sides also reported losses. The truth often takes time to emerge. This is common in such situations. The backdrop is a long history of mistrust. Decades of conflict shape current events. The Kashmir region remains a central issue. It is a persistent point of contention. This latest flare-up occurred there. It served as a grim reminder. The underlying problems are not resolved. Peace in South Asia remains fragile. The immediate trigger was a tragic event. An attack occurred in Indian-administered Kashmir. This happened in late April 2025. Reports stated that several tourists were killed. This act was widely condemned. It immediately raised tensions. Such incidents often lead to swift reactions. This case was no different. India pointed fingers quickly. New Delhi blamed Pakistan-based militant groups. They alleged support from across the border. This is a familiar accusation in the region. Pakistan consistently denies such charges. This creates a cycle of blame. It fuels further animosity between them. The tourist attack became a catalyst. It set off a chain of military actions. India vowed a strong response. India's response came swiftly. Their military launched operations. These were described as counter-terrorism strikes. The targets were alleged militant hideouts. India claimed these were in Pakistani territory. This cross-border action was significant. It represented a serious escalation. Following India's strikes, the conflict escalated. It moved decisively into the air domain. Both air forces were on high alert. Intense aerial engagements soon followed. These occurred in early May 2025. They marked a new dangerous phase. This was not just a minor skirmish, it was a significant military confrontation. Many aircraft were involved. Reports suggest a large number of planes. Some sources indicated over 100 aircraft. These were from both India and Pakistan. They engaged in dogfights and sorties. The skies over Kashmir became a battleground. This level of aerial combat is rare. It was described by some analysts. They called it the largest since World War II. This highlights its unusual scale. The aerial battles lasted several days. Both sides utilized advanced fighter jets. They deployed sophisticated weaponry. The goal was to establish air superiority. It was also to inflict damage. These engagements were incredibly risky. The potential for error was high. A significant development occurred weeks later. It came from India's top military leader. General Anil Chauhan spoke candidly. He was at the Shangri-La Dialogue. This is a major security forum in Asia. His words caught many by surprise. He admitted India lost fighter jets. This was during the May clashes. This was a major shift in India's stance. Previously, India had denied any jet losses. Official statements were clear. All Indian aircraft returned safely. This was the narrative for weeks. General Chauhan's admission changed that. It acknowledged a painful truth. It suggested a new level of transparency, or perhaps a need to control the narrative. The timing, post-conflict, is interesting. It allowed for internal assessment. General Chauhan did not stop there. He spoke about the reasons. He mentioned tactical mistakes. This was a frank assessment. It pointed to operational shortcomings. He stressed the need to learn. The military must analyze these errors. This is crucial for future preparedness. Section 5. The Numbers Dispute. Counting the cost of conflict. While General Chauhan admitted losses, details were, well, scarce. He did not specify the exact number. The number of Indian jets lost remains unconfirmed. The types of aircraft were also not detailed. This leaves room for speculation. It also allows conflicting narratives to persist. The full picture is still incomplete from India's side. This is a key point of contention. Pakistan from the outset made bold claims. They stated their forces shot down multiple jets. Some Pakistani officials claimed up to 6. They even named specific aircraft types. The French-made Rafale jet was mentioned. This is one of India's premier fighters. Downing a Rafale would be significant. Pakistan was keen to highlight this. It was part of their victory narrative. General Chauhan directly addressed Pakistan's numbers. He called the claim of 6 jets absolutely incorrect. This was a firm rebuttal. However, without India's own figure, doubts remain. The gap between some losses and 6 losses is large. This discrepancy fuels the information war. Section 6. Unpacking the losses, tactical missteps and technological factors. General Chauhan's admission included a crucial detail. He acknowledged tactical mistakes by Indian forces. This points towards operational issues. It suggests human error or flawed planning. Such mistakes can be costly in combat, especially in complex aerial engagements. Identifying these errors is the first step. Correcting them is the next challenge. This is vital for any military. Beyond tactical errors, other factors may exist. The performance of equipment is always key. Pakistan claimed to use Chinese-made aircraft. They asserted these jets were effective. This highlights China's growing role as a supplier of advanced military hardware. The effectiveness of these systems is watched closely by global powers and by India, of course. There were also unconfirmed reports. Some international sources weighed in. One French intelligence official was cited. This official allegedly confirmed a Rafale loss. If true, this would be significant. The Rafale is a modern, capable jet. Its loss would raise serious questions about training, tactics, or even technology. India would need to investigate this thoroughly. Understanding these losses is complex. Section 7. Global Watch, International Reactions and Regional Concerns. The May 2025 conflict drew immediate global attention. India and Pakistan are nuclear powers. Any military clash between them is alarming. The international community fears escalation. A conventional war could spiral, it could potentially reach a nuclear threshold. This is the nightmare scenario. Thus, world capitals watched closely. They urged restraint from both sides. International media covered the events extensively. Military analysts offered their views. The scale of the aerial battle was noted. The claims and counterclaims were reported. There was a focus on de-escalation efforts. Diplomats worked behind the scenes. They tried to cool down temperatures. The United Nations also called for calm. The stakes were too high for inaction. Specific details like aircraft losses were scrutinized. The French intelligence report about a Rafale was one example. Such third-party information adds layers. It can sometimes confirm or deny claims. However, official confirmations are rare. Section 8. Shifting sands, impact on India-Pakistan dynamics and military postures. General Chauhan's admission has consequences. It affects India-Pakistan relations. It also impacts military thinking. For Pakistan, it might feel like a vindication. Their initial claims gained some credence. This could embolden their stance. It might affect future diplomatic engagements. Trust levels already low could fall further. This makes dialogue harder. Within India, there will be political fallout. The opposition will likely raise questions. They will ask about military preparedness. They will question the government's handling. This is normal in a democracy. The armed forces will also introspect. The admission of tactical errors is serious. It will lead to reviews of doctrine. Training procedures will be examined. Equipment capabilities will be reassessed. Future military strategies will be shaped. Both countries will draw lessons. Pakistan might see its strategy validated. India will focus on plugging gaps. This could lead to new arms procurement. It might spur indigenous defense development. The technological aspect is critical. Section 9. The unsettled peace ceasefire, lingering tensions, and the path forward. The intense fighting in May 2025 did cease. After about 4 days of clashes, a truce was reached. This was reported around May 10th. The ceasefire was a welcome development. It pulled both nations back from the brink. National security advisors from India and Pakistan held talks. These discussions were crucial for de-escalation. High-level intervention was necessary. Some external actors also played a role. Then US President Donald Trump claimed involvement. He said he helped broker the peace. Such claims are common in diplomacy. The exact details are often murky. What matters is that the fighting stopped. Both nations also issued assurances. They stated no risk of nuclear escalation. This was important for global reassurance. It calmed some immediate fears. However, the peace remains fragile. The underlying issues are unresolved. Kashmir is still a flashpoint. Militancy and cross-border accusations continue. General Chauhan's admission adds a new layer.